leave a like and subscribe.
The so-called Great Train Robber, Ronnie Biggs, is now so frail he is unable to speak. But he still has things he wants to say about his infamous crime and his life since. As he managed to explain to Penny Marshall, he is now sorry the train's driver was attacked all those years ago and now believes that crime does not pay.
Biggs is a much diminished figure from the swaggering villain of his younger days. A stroke has left him unable to walk or talk. The great train robber has grown old. And with age, he says, has come some regrets.
Crime doesn't. Crime doesn't pay.
Theirs was an audacious crime, holding up the Glasgow to London mail train in broad daylight and making off with more than 2 million in used banknotes. Sentenced to 30 years, Biggs climbed over the prison wall to freedom after just 15 months. His subsequent brazen partying, as he continually evaded justice in Brazil, turned him for some into a criminal anti-hero.
Some people win it and some people lose it, and I'm happy to say that I won it.
But those left in the wake of his criminal activity never forgave Biggs or his fellow gang members. Jack Mills, the driver of the train, was coshed during the robbery.
The only thing they did was threaten me. One man kept wiping the blood from out of my eyes.
Neither him nor his family ever understood those who admired those responsible for it. What's become known as the Great Train Robbery has in some ways entered British criminal folklore. But the legacy of what happened here is pretty awful. Most of the money was never recovered, and when 7 years later the train driver died, his family say he did so a broken man.
Are you sorry for what happened to him?
Yes. I think what my dad's always stated, he wasn't there when it happened. And of course he really regrets that Mr. Mills got hurt.
But his apology was rejected by Mr. Mills's family, coming as he launches a new autobiography. Ronnie Biggs is now seriously ill. He was originally caught by fingerprints left on a Monopoly board. So he may be chastened, but age hasn't yet taken the rogue out of the villain we know as the Great Train Robber.
Well, it was one of the most infamous heists in British criminal history, glamorised on film and part of the vernacular of the times. Now one of the men behind the Great Train Robbery, Ronnie Biggs, has died at the age of 84. I've been looking through ITN's archives to see how they've reported his life down the years. In reality, Biggs had only a minor role, essentially as a driver, in the raid on the night mail train from Glasgow to London. They made off with mail bags containing the equivalent today of roughly £50 million.
The driver had been coshed and handcuffed.
The only thing they did was threaten me. One man kept wiping the blood from out of my eyes.
Holed up in a farmhouse, the gang allegedly played Monopoly with real cash as they counted their way through their haul. When they left, Biggs left his fingerprints behind on a bottle of ketchup, and that led to his arrest.
Biggs was then cautioned and told he would be taken to Aylesbury to be charged. And Biggs is alleged to have said, "Get on with it, you'll have to prove it all the way. I'm admitting nothing to you people."
Biggs was given a 30-year sentence, but only served 15 months before he enhanced his notoriety by escaping over the walls of Wandsworth Prison using a rope ladder.
I stand there and I don't realise, and the man's got a silk scarf over his head tied on top, looked like a coconut, and I thought, oh gosh, it's spring, they're going to get someone out.
He fled first to Paris, buying his anonymity through plastic surgery, then tried to hide in Australia.
And what makes you think so?
But Interpol and public fascination almost tracked him down.
All the calls about Biggs come into this man, Senior Constable Ken Olsen.
He went on the run again, ending up in Brazil. There he was eventually arrested in 1974, but avoided extradition because he'd fathered a son by his Brazilian girlfriend. Broke, he spoke about his share of the train robber's loot for money.
The only happy issue from the train robbery is the fact that semi-honest money has arisen. When I say semi-honest, I mean money that's been paid by newspapers for our stories.
By 2001, his health failing, he flew back to Britain. He returned to prison before being released on compassionate grounds in 2009. But his fascination with exploiting his own life, his notoriety, and lining his pockets never left him.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please join our Facebook group. It's called Krays Crime Lords of London. We're a friendly moderated group with over 1,000 Kray and other celebrated gangster videos available for view. There's also thousands of images in the photos sections. The link for the group is in the YouTube description section. I hope we see you there soon.
Leave a like and subscribe.